Today's video, we're going to be covering investing in the current team of the week.
So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month.
So here is the current team of the week, and it's pretty nice looking. We've got, I'd say, 3 different subsections of investments. We've got cheap meta, we've got expensive meta, and then we've got the likes of SBC fodder. So, first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through who is the cheap meta and so on. So, the cheap meta cards we're going to look at buying is going to be the likes of Anderson, Matoma, and the last one being the likes of Neres. The expensive meta we're going to look at buying is going to be just the likes of Saul and Kante, and then the fodder we're going to look at buying is going to be likes of Trippier, and if he can manage to fit down into it, the likes of Harry Kane. You may wonder why no Cancelo and why no Son and Kane. These cards are just too expensive in terms of like expensive meta, and they're not being used whatsoever. I'm going to show in a sec these cards not being used. And likewise, maybe if you're worried about Totw or questioning Totw, there are players who are being used almost 3 times as much as Totw for the exact same price, and therefore we wouldn't see any incentive to prioritise him over the likes of, well, we'll show in a sec. So what am I going on about? How do I know how often players are used? Well, there is a tool that all of us traders use when it comes to buying Team of the Week and buying promo players before they go out of packs, and that is going over to the likes of Footbin. You're going to head down here to PGP, and what you're going to do is you're going to go version. Version is going to allow you to then scroll to squads, and this shows you basically the squads. We've got Team of the Week 1, we've got Team of the Week 2, we've got Mike Mad, we've got RTTK. So for example, if I clicked on last week, I can see that the most used cards are Doku and Lamptey. Well, this is quite an interesting observation because Lamptey was used 20,000 times and Dybala was used, 66,000 times, 120, sorry. So if I go and show you the likes of Dybala went from 95 to 131. This is a 35k increase, which is about a 30% rise of the total card, 35 let's say. Whereas if we go look at the likes of Lamptey, we can see that Lamptey went from 38k up here to 72k. Now this is give or take doubling in price. So we can see that he had a much higher rise, and that's because the card is just used double as much. So what we do is we use these trends, because these trends happen every single year, every single promo and team of the week, to decide who we're going to buy. Now it is still very, very early doors, but we can see that the most used card is Talisca, Kante and Matoma. And personally that really does surprise me. So that's why this data is so good, because I wouldn't have had Talisca down as the most used card. I would have had Matoma down, or Saul used, or probably, I don't know, maybe even Neres. But they are. The most used is Talisca. Now this is probably because of the Saudi Arabia links. It's also the first way you can get Ronaldo into a team with some pretty decent players without having to give up too many of your offensive options. So really he is just the most used card. You can't contest it. Second most used card is Kante, which again I do think is very interesting. The only worry we have with Kante at the moment is that we're going to get ourselves a Bruno Gilhamez, which is obviously going to be a CDM, and Kante is a CDM. So there could be some 1-for-1 replacement. Bruno Gilhamez, by the way, positively affecting Talisca with those Brazilian links. And then Matoma is the third one, again positively affected by the likes of Bruno Gilhamez later in the week, which is nice. And then Saul again negatively affected because that's going to be a centre mid replacing a centre mid. So let's go and talk through the investments. I basically do think Talisca is your best investment. I think Talisca later in the week is going to hit about 11-12k, and you could go all in on him at 11-12k. And I think it'll be up at least 15-16 by Wednesday, which you can cash out, or you can just hold till the weekend league because he could also very much rise going into Friday, Saturday. Now, Kante, I think it is going to depend on Bruno Gilhamez because, again, I do think it is a CDM for a CDM. Bruno Gilhamez comes out the back, boom. Let's say he's 200, 250k, like Kulevski. Don't have anything to worry with Kante because Kante, by the Sunday, is anticipated to probably go down to about 50k. Matoma, again, I'd imagine it'll be about 15k by the time Sunday comes around. Really nice. Saul will end up being probably about 25-30 by the time Sunday comes around. So the buy time, if you're wondering, is looking to be Sunday. Now, the reason the buy time is looking to be Sunday is if we go look at the Team of the Week that occurred during RTTK, which was this Team of the Week here, Team of the Week 3, because we were 1 week later, obviously, last year. The cheapest time to go and buy these cards was during Sunday. We can go and show you the likes of Liao. There you go. You can see Saturday, Sunday, he bottomed out. If you were buying on the Friday, obviously there was a much bigger drop, so in theory there is no mad hurry. But yeah, Sunday was the cheapest. You would have been able to get sub 80s, and then he rose Sunday to Monday, rose Monday to Tuesday, and then he dropped Wednesday due to overinvestment. But there was a second rise going into the weekend league where he went up to 112. So again, with Talisca and some of the other metas, you can either go and sell them on Tuesday before people potentially go and sell off their investment due to being overinvested, or what you can do is you can go and gamble that they'll rise going into Sunday. And that's what happened with Liao. Now, what we'll just say with this team is not every player that we expected to do well did that well during the likes of RTTK. So, for example, Ben Yedder, who was the cheapest on Sunday. Now, he went up 10k between Sunday and Tuesday. We then saw that drop I was talking about, and he actually got to an even lower price on Thursday, which then he did manage to go and rise over the weekend. So, what this means is, if we don't see an amazing rise on Wednesday, there is a chance, if we don't see an amazing rise between Sunday to Tuesday, let's say it's under 10%, then the card might actually drop due to being overinvested, but then rise going into the weekend. So you can either gamble that the drop won't be too bad on Wednesday, Thursday, and the card will rise, or you'd go and sell on Wednesday to gamble buying back on Friday, which would be a little bit risky, but that was a trend that did occur with a fair few of these players. So, yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps it up, really. Oh, yeah, and Trippier. SBC fodder when it comes to informs should hopefully be turning around have a pretty decent turnaround. I believe it was only like 2 weeks until we had icons, and pre-icons we had well-demanded player SBCs and co. At the moment, I don't believe we're sitting on too much high-rated SBC fodder. No, we've got the likes of Hummels, but other than Hummels, because Lewandowski is not sitting at SBC fodder, we don't really have any high-rated SBC fodder, and again, the only thing even coming out of Team Week 2 is Trippier, unless Kane gets really, really cheap, being used that much. I mean, if we go and look at it right here, Trippier is 600 games. Again, there's players with 3 times as many games as him. So, but he does obviously have double utility. He'll probably go down to about 12, 13k. And for him, it is going to be, you're probably going to hold until 1, an SBC either gets leaked and therefore he rises lots in the pre-hype, or 2, you're just going to wait till the SBC comes out, and that's all good. And I believe that is about all she wrote. Now, if you want to go and buy players like Son and Cancelo, you're going to go and buy them, in my opinion, on the Sunday evening. You could buy between Saturday evening and Sunday morning, but yeah, I'd say Sunday just before 6 PM or Sunday after 6 PM if you do want to go and play it safe. But again, at the same time, if you look at last week, you could probably buy anytime Saturday and anytime Sunday morning, and they're not going to drop that much more if we look at the data as such. But that's about it, I'd say. That is Team Week 1 covered. Again, priorities are Talisca, Kante, Mitoma, and then secondary to that, we're looking at the likes of Saul. And then with SBC fodder, we're looking at the likes of Trippier. And if Kane wants to get down to about 50k, I'd also say Kane wouldn't be too bad. But that is going to wrap up Team of the Week. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.